Hey, I'm Chris Ralph, the professional prospector, and if you watch my channel regularly, you know that I talk about precious metals like gold mostly, but silver and platinum, and sometimes gemstones like diamonds or sapphires or other sorts of things. But today we're going to take a little bit different turn related to the precious metals, though, more than you might think. We're going to talk about copper. Copper is one of the most important metals to mankind. Most people don't really understand how much we use copper. I mean, literally everything we have, whether it's electronic on a board like this, because there's copper here and copper here, this is all wired together with copper. Or whether we're talking motors like this one. Motors like this have pounds of copper in them. Either way, even transmission lines, the lines that take the electricity to your house, or to motors like this, your automobile, full of copper. So copper is an extremely critical metal for mankind and for our modern technology. So I'm going to start a little series, just a few videos, where I'm going to talk about copper deposits, about recovering copper, recycling copper, about recognizing copper ores, and then also about how copper ores are closely associated very often, not always, but very often, with gold and silver deposits. There's copper silver deposits and copper gold deposits. Some of the richest copper deposits in the world, like Butte, Montana, produce huge amounts of gold and silver too. And there's a lot of other places that also produced a lot of gold and silver along with the copper. Now, the experts that know about what we need as a civilization, as a planet, to keep going the way we're going, are all telling us that we don't have enough copper. And copper is going to get more valuable as time goes on. We don't have enough copper. We're not making new mines. We're not making new finds. We're mining what we've known about for a long time, and eventually we're going to start running out of that stuff, and there's going to be a mad scramble, and the price of copper is going to jump up way up high. Right now, as we're speaking, the price of copper really isn't that great because of the virus that we've been going through right now as I'm recording this. It's just kind of the end stages of the lockdowns and that sort of thing for the virus. And as we come out of that, we expect to see industry revive and more activity and more need for copper, because not only in the United States, when we buy motors or items, copper, automobiles that use copper, not only that, but the developing world, countries like India and China, Brazil, other places, as they modernize and upgrade, they're going to be consuming huge amounts of copper. So I think copper is going to be something that you're going to want to take some interest in, and I hope you'll join me for this series. Now, what are we going to do? Yeah, we're going to recover some scrap. We're going to make some huge bars. I'm going to make a couple of kilogram bar of copper today. I think you'll find that really interesting. But we're also going to make copper the way that the ancients made it. We're going to take pretty ores like the ancients found in copper deposits, ancient men, and we're going to take that and turn it into metallic copper. Actually, copper was the first metal that man ever extracted from an ore. Now, there had been other metals that man had found, like gold nuggets. They made stuff out of that, and they made stuff out of metallic copper. They made stuff out of the iron that fell as meteorites. They made stuff out of silver that they found. So mankind found metals and used them, but the first metal that he was able to take that wasn't a metal, that was in an ore, and turn into a metal that he could use was copper. And it changed, literally, when mankind figured out how to take copper out of rock that didn't seem to have any metal copper. It had these beautiful blues and greens that we know are copper minerals. That when they were able to take that out and make copper metal, that was actually the end of the Stone Age. That's the transition that flipped us from Stone Age to what they call Chalcolithic, which is the copper Stone Age. So it was a big deal, and it's a big deal. So we're going to go over the ancient ways that copper was made, and then finally, we're going to take a look at copper ores and copper deposits and how to recognize copper deposits and the gold and silver that are associated with copper deposits, and we're going to delve into that. And so come along with me. We're going to start today our series by taking some copper that I have that I've taken out of motors and transformers and the like, and we're going to pour us a big 2-kilogram copper bar. For those of you not running in the metric, that's going to be something like 4.5 and 5 pounds. Anyway, so come along, we're going to do it, and I think you'll enjoy this series and that you'll really want to see the whole rest of it. Now, before we actually get started melting stuff, I want to talk a little bit about things like this motor. Now, you can take a motor like this to a scrapyard and turn it in for the copper, and they'll give you some money, but they'll give you a lot less than the value of there's pounds of copper in this motor. They'll give you a lot less than the value of the copper because most of this weight is iron, okay? And they won't even give you the weight of the copper inside, not counting the iron. They'll actually discount it further because they have to crush it or do whatever to extract the copper from the iron. So if you get in yourself and see how to take the copper out of a motor and then melt and produce pure copper, a clean copper product, they'll give you a lot more for your product that you turn in when you go to a scrapyard. So with that in mind, let's get started on making a big copper bar. Well, I filmed that first part of the video, it's been more than a month ago, and I'm finally getting around to making my big copper scrap bars. And as I've said, scrap is an important part of the supply of copper that goes into manufacturing. Now, I've got pretty much all different kinds. I've got a yoke from an old CRT television. I've got transformer wire. I've got old copper pipe tubing, all kinds of wire copper and other copper scrap. And we're going to be putting this together and melting it and pouring some nice big bars in my graphite mold here. So let's get started. Okay, I've already poured one bar. I'm going to pour another one, the second one. So watch me do it. I'm heating up the graphite mold so that, you know, the copper will go in well. So here we go. These are my special tongs. Alrighty, here we go. Okay. Just to let everything cool off slowly, I'll put the crucible back in. Oops. There's one little piece of copper that escaped, so I'm going to grab it. All right, now I'll put the crucible back in. And close her back down, and she can cool at her own speed. I'll give this copper another minute. It's still quite red hot. I'll give it another minute or two to cool off, and then I'll bring you back to dump it out of the mold. Okay, let's get the new copper bar out of the graphite and There it is. It's still pretty hot, so I ain't gonna grab that, but this is the one I poured a few minutes earlier. It's ready to go to the recycler. It's easy to store. Now, this is the first part of a series on copper, and we're gonna get into prospecting for copper, not just scrapping for copper. We're going to get into the prospecting and recognizing minerals and recognizing and understanding copper ore deposits, because they can be really valuable. And if you want to become a better prospector and find gold and silver and, hey, copper too, I wrote a book about prospecting, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my book right now. So let me tell you a little bit more about my book. It's called Fistful of Gold. And I wrote it because I want you to be able to go out and find for yourself fistful of gold. And you can see that it's an encyclopedia with all kinds of information, pictures, and that sort of thing. It's not in color, but color would have cost me a lot more to have printed, and so the book would have cost a lot more. It's for sale on Amazon, and you can pick it up. I'll put a link in the description below. I also serve as the editor for a prospecting magazine. It's ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal. And honestly, you should check that out. We got stories and information, legal stuff, everything you know to increase your skills as a prospector. I write articles in this every month, and a lot of other very experienced prospectors contribute to the magazine as well. So check the magazine out. Also, I have a website, and the website is at NevadaOutbackGems.com. I'll put a link for it in the description below, but there's gobs of information there that you will find useful in your prospecting efforts. Finally, I want to say that I really appreciate your comments and thoughts, and even positive criticism. Don't come on there and just toss out insults, because I'll just delete your comments. But if you've got helpful things to say and questions to ask, do write and put those in the comments, because I answer my comments to people, and you'll hear from me in responding to you. So if you've enjoyed this video and you like what you see and you're interested in finding out more, well then sign up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so they'll let you know when I post new videos. And like it and share it if again you see stuff that you really are excited about. And I'll be coming out with lots more new videos, and so we'll see you again real soon.